Welcome to another episode of Sweatshop Boys.
Okay, yeah, today we're talking about what's one thing you learned about relationships that you wish you knew when you were younger. You know what I mean?
It's about the journey.
Oh, you know what? I really wish I knew that, like, I think I placed a... It's already here's answer off the bat, sorry, but I wish that, like, when you're younger and you're a guy, I think... You know, like, when girls grow up, they have that feeling of, like, value instilled in them from, like, their parents. They're like the princess. Guys have to work upward for that. Yeah. And I think as guys, you end up always thinking the girl you're with is the best you can do. And I think that's where, like, you hold on too long. And I think I would have liked to learn that, like, oh, that doesn't really apply. Like, there's, like, a feeling of you get disgusted at the thought of being with your second girl that you were dating or third girl because, like, at the time, you would have, like, fought for every way to keep that. But, like, what a fucking waste if you did that. You know what I mean? And I think it would have been nice to, like, know so that I could walk away sooner without,
because
like,
your heartbreak?
Without straining it so goddamn
Dude,
long.
we were both simps.
Yeah.
But that first heartbreak, I think it destroys everybody.
Yeah, what a waste.
You never had a heartbreak.
Nah, for sure I did.
You did?
Yeah, the first girl.
The girl that,
Yeah, the first girl that I really, but
I thought Tiff was your first girlfriend,
No,
one
that's
and
the
only
first-
and everything.
I was talking to this one girl.
Put it in him. He's talking about the one before.
Put it in him.
Yeah, the one that pegged me the first time. Yeah. Showed me where my G spot was.
Broke his hymen, yeah.
Yeah.
She did it like this and she went, and he said, oh.
Please stop. But yeah, I was like I really liked this chick, and it was one of those situations where I felt like, oh, she's the only girl that likes me, blah, blah. All that kind of simp nonsense, gay mentality.
You think you'll regret it forever when you let her go, yeah.
But then you realize...
It took me a year.
Yeah, it took me a while. And then you realize, like, oh yeah, and then you find someone that's like, oh, this is the complete opposite of the last person I dated. This was like way sicker, this is way better. And then you're like, oh, this is great. I should be looking for something a little bit better, you know? Yeah. There's something that is...
Plus, you change a lot, and that's a part you don't fucking factor in.
And it's something you had to go through, so you understand that, like, oh yeah, I should, like, yeah, if you're in a relationship, you should try to provide some value to that person, especially if you're a guy. But then, if you just do everything for this person, you're gonna lose yourself, you know. And I feel like that happens to a lot of guys that are simping hard, you know, the simps, and they get left out to dry.
It's a lot about losing yourself, yeah.
Yeah, and that's where my inspiration was. That's where I learned that, okay, you gotta.
Did you play that song over and over while you cried?
No. No, dude.
But isn't that
I just cried by myself in my own shower.
Isn't that such a relief to know that you didn't fight that fucking hard, like, for these exes that are now gone?
I thought I was gonna get back.
Because you could have probably, like, strained it till now.
And I'm glad
trying to make it work.
I was always just trying to ride so hard that it just made no sense eventually. Yeah. Like eventually, like, you're like Wile E. Coyote walking off of a cliff and you don't even know it yet, and then one day you finally look down and you fall.
Because then you're really just doing that for you, which is the dumb part. You're just trying to stay true to your scricles, which really fucking makes no sense.
And that person that you were with may not even needed you or asked you to do that, but you're like, oh, I'm gonna do it anyway.
Yeah.
Because like I'm that guy.
Watching a movie of you, and you're like, what would I do to be badass?
Yeah.
It fucking sucks.
Once
Yeah.
I stopped seeing life as a movie, it really became painfully obvious of who else was doing that.
Do you like when people go, damn, bro, last night was a movie?
Oh, fuck all.
You like that? I feel like you like that.
Instant face punch, dude.
I like the ones that, like, preface it. They go, tonight's gonna be like a movie.
Yeah!
Ultimate though, the top.
Those guys are the best hang ever, though.
Yeah.
For that one night.
Because they'll put on a show.
Yeah, for that one night.
They'll put on a show.
But some guys even take it farther and they're like, my life is a movie.
Oh, sick.
That's
In their
ultimate.
bio, it says that.
I used to hella look at my life like it was a movie, to be completely honest. And I think it got really good when I started understanding that movie is a comedy. And life is just a comedy.
My life's a documentary.
Funnier.
Mine's a tragedy.
Mine's a porno. Mine's a porno.
That's like,
Mine's a porno
Sorry.
sick.
Yeah, that was sick.
So it's bad acting and just constantly sex.
Everybody who comes to my house, like eventually the like, music starts to play, and
Yeah.
I'm like, oh shit, are we not gonna fuck?
The mailman comes, he fucks you. Pizza delivery comes, they fuck you. Plumber comes, they fuck you. Everybody, dude.
Starts taking their belts off.
It's weird music starts
He's
playing.
like, my butt is tired, man.
My butt is a movie.
I really just thought you were here to fix the internet.
Hey, but your life's a movie.
Yeah.
Right?
Neighbor comes over,
Never boring.
fucks you.
I'm like, can we just turn the music off?
Stop coming over.
I wish stuff would stop breaking.
I gotta stop answering my door.
Something that you would have wanted to know early on, relationship-wise. I feel like you probably have a better answer than mine.
Or just not overthink so much. Not take things so seriously. Especially as a kid. You go through so many different phases.
That's so true.
Yeah, everybody I know. When I know a couple people who are like, you know, in their 30s and 40s, and they're like just very intense for some reason.
Yeah,
Everything's so
yeah.
serious.
Like there's so much
Everything's life or
pressure to
death.
have something at a certain time.
Yeah, I can't relate to that anymore because I was like that in my teenage years, and I grew out of that.
Yeah.
But so I feel bad for the people who never grew out of that.
Have you seen people in their 20s and 30s still?
Being intense as hell, and 40s, like intense.
There's a girl that I know that's currently, she has a teenage daughter, and she's currently at a war with her daughter's boyfriend, who is like really abusive. And it's got to the point now where she's posting on Facebook publicly all of his texts between her daughter and this fool is like straight up telling her like, I will hit you in public, I don't give a fuck. Like he's mad that, so the source of this argument is he's pissed that she didn't say that her ex was circumcised.
What?
Because he's not, and he's mad and accusing her that she likes uncircumcised dick more.
What the fuck?
Hey, I've been
That
there.
guy's amazing.
Been there, pal.
Yeah.
Invite him on the show.
It's a comedy. It's a comedy.
So she leaked.
Yo,
She leaked
that's
all of his
the
texts
best.
on her Facebook page, and it's kind of like getting out there. Like it's kind of because she's like, I don't know what to do. And because her daughter, based on her like fucking value system, is like adhering to all of the things he's saying. She's like, I'm sorry, please, just don't be mad. And he's like, no, fuck you. And she's like, please, I love you, please.
You like
It's-
his dick better than
Well,
mine.
I know you like his dick better.
It's at
No,
that
I
point-
promise. It's not because it's uncircumcised. It's because it's bigger.
Yeah, it's so fucking weird, and it just like reminds you of like there's a lot of dudes like that really are so embarrassed. With what they're
him more than I do.
Yeah, it's so stupid.
That's the bad. I want to meet him. I want to hang out with him.
I mean, that's an easy hit for a girl. You just have a small dick.
Yeah.
Yeah, see.
Never say that to another guy.
Hey, it's because he's uncircumcised. It's not because it's small.
But aren't some small dicks really cool?
Yeah, it's so much better, they say.
Personally speaking.
Damn.
Yeah, it's really messed up.
This is a
So serious.
when I was doing, this is so simpy of me. When I was doing like research to figure out like how to write my vows, and I was just like looking up different things and trying to, you take time to just like figure
Yeah.
shit out.
It's a big ask.
One of the things my buddies told me was how he had heard about this idea of like relationships when you vow to be with somebody is that you're not just like making a promise to like be with that person through thick and thin. You're making a promise to be with that person and also the person who they're going to become, because it's not always the same.
Yep.
So I feel like with relationships, especially if you're in one for a longer period of time, we all mature, we grow, we adapt, we change, and different things like turn us into different versions of ourselves. And it's like when you get into a relationship, knowing that that person that you fell in love with is going to change and you're going to change, and it's like you're committing to being okay with that change versus being like, oh, I got with this person because of this, but now they're like this, so like it's not gonna work out. It's like,
Yeah, it's like
that's how
this is
people
not
are.
people who say it's like oh man, that's not the person that I got with initially. All this shit. Well, you didn't grow together, bro. You didn't.
That's what it is.
Why would you want the same person? That makes you a pedophile.
I've been saying that for years.
There's so many
saying that.
expectations.
I know.
Make you a pedophile.
But when you start hitting your partner with that, you're not the same person that I got
I
with.
met.
It's like you're just using it as a weapon now. There's nothing productive happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell can
the
they do?
solution.
About it? Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
I mean, like, did they have a crazy moral value shift that's like, now this person's joined a cult? And it's probably not that extreme, right? But that's the only time I would take that. It's like, they're not the same person I fucking met.
Yeah, if they start doing like crystal meth and shit. then-
Yeah! It's like,
Yeah.
that's like, yeah.
So many things like can mature a person and change them, right? It's like they're a new career trajectory and like the way that they need to output in order to like chase that new dream of theirs, or like having a child. Like you no longer live your own life, you become somebody for somebody.
You changed ever since you had a kid.
No, but it's they're so negative because it's like you could cheat without cheating. That's the best shit ever. Your wife fucking changes her hair, fucking becomes different, gets into a new hobby. It's like, fuck,
okay,
I'm dating a new bitch. I was like, that's the best.
The art of cheating without cheating.
Yeah. You get to fucking break up with your old girlfriend and now you got a new girlfriend, but it's the same girl.
You call her different names.
Yup.
Stephanie.
New identity.
What's your style? Without cheating.
Stephanie.
They get a new job and shit.
Dude, Nikki lightened her hair up a little bit. I'm kind of like, feels like I'm cheating.
Now you
Does
got
she-
a new person.
Does Nikki, like, knowing how, like, does she know that you really like trashy shit?
Oh yeah, she knows better than anybody.
So does she trash herself up for you?
Yeah. No, she does.
They bought a trailer just to play the
so
role.
cool.
Yeah.
Like when we're going out and like it's date night or whatever, she wears like trashy shit.
That's so cool.
You wear trashy shit?
Yeah.
She doesn't
wear
like,
like a
she doesn't
white
like me in trashy shit. She likes me in like button up shirts and shit like that.
He wanted to wear his Puma print
cool, dude.
jumper, but
With a wife beater and a gold chain under?
She
Come
wouldn't
on.
let me wear my Pacers hat to the wedding I was officiating. I was like, wear ass bitch.
I think she made a good call.
he had to wear a fedora.
Oh, you know, it's one thing I would have liked to know. I wish I learned that you shouldn't try so hard to get a girl to like you.
Yeah.
Because like you're instilled with that as a dude. You're like, oh, I need to like conquer
her?
this or like win her
Yeah.
over. But like the harder you try, and if that's not really you when the relationship starts, shit's gonna be bad, man. Like you gotta follow up your own act. Like
Yeah.
don't do shit that's outside of what you do on a normal daily.
Or even selling yourself too hard.
Yeah.
It's like you
Yeah.
really want to impress her and give her a whole list of accomplishments you've done and shit, but it's like at that point it's like you're just bragging and you're just talking about yourself the whole
Hit
time.
it with a resume, though.
Yeah.
People,
Slide it
watch
over.
that again out there, some of you. Making it all about you all the time is such a
Yeah.
huge mistake.
You're the main character of the movie.
Yeah, it's some fucking.
But when I did that shit, it's because I wanted to be accepted. I
Yeah,
wanted
yeah,
to
yeah.
impress.
Yeah.
So, but then it's like you don't do that by telling her your accomplishments.
Exactly.
It sounds like you're just showing off all day.
Because it's like probably 80% chance you're setting yourself up for failure because you're probably not as good as you think about all the shit that
Yeah, and you're not even learning who she is. You're
what a-
just trying to sell yourself the whole time.
What accomplishments did you guys have to brag about at the early dating age?
How do I start?
I got an A. No, just kidding.
I got an A? Is that what you said?
It's not even any particular subject. Just I got it.
I just got an A at school. Which class? You're like, just A.
Nikki got into it because I was with my family, and she doesn't know that like I have this thing with my family where like they, for some reason, they just like ignore something that I've done, and then they really
actively?
yeah, and they hyper focus on like what my siblings are doing for some reason, and so when I was around my family, I was like gassing up like, hey, I got this movie coming, it's in the pipeline. We're talking to Legendary, all this shit. And Nikki's like, why do you like when we get back in the car? She's like, why do you do that? Like bragging to my family about your shit, and like it's such a turn off. And I was like, did they come to my Smiley premiere? She's like, no. And I was like, did they come to any of my other shit? And she's like, no. And I was like, if I don't like try to start selling them now, I don't think they're gonna come to this one either. And then she got all teary eyed.
That's really sad.
And then she like apologized to me, but like I didn't know necessarily that I was like selling so hard, but like I was like, wow, that really helps me like helps her to see where I'm coming from, because I'm not like a braggy guy, you know me, dude. I don't try to do all
You're a
that.
downplay guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's the real me, right? But
Yeah.
then the guy I want to be on this show, he talks about.
But in your family, it
movie I'm
brings.
not in, brother.
But in front of your family, they
Yeah.
bring the Hollywood out of you.
Yeah.
That's pretty. Fuck.
well, just to get him to like, I was just trying to get him, trying to sell them so they'll come to my.
Damn.
It's all good.
But then are they like, okay, let's hear from Kenny now?
Yeah, no, legit, it was like, and she started seeing that. She would see like my dad do that, and she'd be like, "I get it, I see it now." And that you pointed out to me, I can see it the whole time.
Damn.
Oof, that's a big
Why do you
one,
think they do that? Why do you think they? Are you the oldest?
I think it just drives me, like it actually gives me like a little gas, So
It's
whatever,
because,
for whatever
it's
reason,
because you didn't give them grandchildren?
Oh.
they don't give a fuck about that.
Are you the oldest?
I'm the oldest guy.
Oh, that's probably why. Yeah. They're like, Steve could handle
Busty
himself.
Sue is the oldest girl.
I do think that it's what you're saying. That I think they're like, oh, Steve's fine. You don't have to worry about Steve.
Usually, I think parents just either they're fucking annoyed of you or they think you're so like strong and confident that they like to give attention to the weak one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's just that my brothers are both introverted and I'm not, and I think that they just probably assume that I'm fine. But like when we were going to their, I'm not gonna bleed on you guys, but when we were going on, like we were driving out to my brother's Air Force graduations, and like that was like and of course I couldn't wait to do it. Like I love my brothers, and then when it was like time for my movie premiere thing, like sorry we can't make it. I'm like, it's in LA. It's like it's like a 90-minute drive, like 2 hours maybe.
Yeah, but Air Force
But for Air Force graduation, they rented a van, right? They rented a van, and like we booked hotels and like stayed over there for days.
It was a whole thing.
And it took like days to drive there because we had to drive to Texas. So it was like I was just like, this kind of like is wild, but
Yeah. Damn, dude.
yeah, it's
I
funny.
feel like I got traumatized when I was in 5th grade because I went to Astro Camp like for school. It was like a space camp thing. And I came home and I was like, oh my God, Mom, it was so fucking cool. Like we got to do all this stuff. We got to make rockets out of clay and shoot it up to the... I was like talking about it too much. And then my parents were both just like, okay, he went to space. He thinks he went to space.
Wow, that's immature as hell.
And I like instantly started crying and I never bragged about anything again. I was like, oh my God, I thought I was just like... Yeah, my mom's like, do they let you live there? Can you go back? Can you live there?
No way.
My mom literally said that to me. She was like, can you live there? Because if it's so much better than home, can you go back there and live there?
boy.
Yeah, they were just like, they were both in unison just killing me.
Fucking roasting
Why don't you fucking marry him?
What if they're hurting on the inside because of the process, and now that you never brag about anything, they're like, we did what we had to do.
That's why I kept everything like mad secret after that. That's why they were like, why didn't you tell us you fucking like to dance? Why'd you have to go on TV and talk shit?
Because you crushed my dreams.
Yeah, I was like, because you fucking made me feel like shit over Astro Camp.
You kept me on Earth, you kept me grounded, you cut my wings, Mom.
Ryan, that was like 20 years ago. Get over it.
That was freaking nuts.
I had to go to the dark web.
That's why I had to go to Silk Road.
My pops would always tell me, he's like, you don't brag about stuff. He's like, you don't do that. He's like, you don't say shit. You just keep your fucking mouth shut. And ever since then, I was like, yeah. He's like, you don't want to be that guy. He was like so disgusted. And I remember how disgusted he was to the point where I was like, yeah. That's that's like a canon event in my brain as a kid, where he's like, you don't fucking do that shit.
So he never talks about like his credits for movies and shit to anybody?
No, dude, he'll fucking kill himself if he talks about it.
Wow.
So are you guys like hanging out on Easter or some shit, and Raiders of the Lost Ark is on, and he worked on that movie? He's not like, hey, oh yeah, that was a little bitch right there. We're like punching grapes for an hour trying to get that sound.
He won't even talk about it. He'll just be like, he'll kind of like, yeah, that's all right. Like, he's like that. He's like, yeah, it's okay. Movie.
So he's not a nerd about sound in other movies that he's not in?
Well, if we watch, only if it's bad.
Yeah.
Like if something happens, he's like, Foley's fucking terrible. Fucking awful shit.
That's really funny to think.
Yeah. He hasn't done it in a while. He hasn't done it in a while though. He hasn't done that shit in a while.
If you like, can you like, as a kid, if you're watching a movie he didn't do and you're like, whoa, that was a cool sound. How did they make that? Could he tell you? Could he be like, they take a fucking loaf of bread and then a piece of meat and then fucking go like this?
Yeah, he'll probably say not that specific. He doesn't get like too like, oh, that, you know what that sound is? That's celery. People don't think it's celery.
There's techniques to it.
He doesn't
Guy's
do
teeth.
He would just be like, he's like, you hear those footsteps? I'm like, that was me. I did that shit. Like that'll be one time he's like, that sounds pretty good.
You hear that? That's your mother running away from you, and I'm holding a hammer.
It's the only way you can get an effective sound effect.
Isn't that really cool though that you could say that like, wow, some footsteps in fucking Speed were taken in my house floor?
Not on my house floor. It was a piece of wood, and my dad's with like shoes on his hands. He's like,
Oh.
I don't know if he's doing that.
Style.
Okay. Do some of that.
But like they would do that shit. Like that's how some of those guys do the Foley.
I think it's funny to do that sound with your mouth, but do the
Just like making
the motion with your hand.
He does it all the time.